Welcome to Warblog. Today we're looking at this Syriatel hill. Which is part of a much larger engagement into the sort of the Abu Al-Duhur pocket. One minute. Yeah, so I've signed in now. It's a sort of interesting game in the sense that it's not a complete game. It's really just this little thing here, and I've sort of talked about this before. So I'm going to make this quite simple and straightforward. Essentially, there is a larger picture that this is really trying to demonstrate, and essentially, in fact, I think I might have even done this one before. I don't know. But this pocket sort of goes like that, and there's a little larger over here, and it's based around this airport here, I think. Let's just have a look. There it is, Abu Al-Duhur. So that's what they're trying to get, and that's sort of the main focus of this pocket, although the pocket goes a little further over here. So this is just the initial inroads from Khanasir. And there is some little confrontation down here. So there really is only this and this in this game. All the rest of this is just sort of to reflect the situation. So I'm just really going to ignore that, and I'm just going to focus on that because I want to keep the video short. One reason being I'm on a sort of just a broadband check, and I've only got 1.5 megabyte second upload, and the other place I live is like 10 megabits per second, so that's a clear 10-fold difference. So I don't want to create videos that are too long. I often wondered why it took that long, but anyway, so looking at what we've got one piece of rocket, one rocket unit, and we want to take Syriatel, but also Russian al-Kabarah and Ramla. So they've got some air defence. We've got some Russian air support, and they've got air defence. 3 irregulars in there, 3 irregulars in there, 2 in there. They've got some rockets, and then a regular in there. So that's pretty much the scenario. Now, I've said this numerous times before, but I just want to reiterate it because it's the first video you've seen. This is like the equivalent of a Western Front game, not literally in its scale, but because this is the action that's happening, I could quite easily have created a much smaller map like that. But I do these bigger ones when there's a bigger picture to sort of tell. But when it comes down to sort of the money shot, that's where it is. So I could have done that. And then we've got 1 in there, 3 in there, 2 in there. So what have I got offensive wise? Well, what I'm going to do first is just move that into there to provide defense against that. The rockets have got a range of 3. 1, 2, 3. So I'm going to bring them a bit closer. One, 2, 3. We can get most things, so I'm going to leave them with some infantry. I'm going to leave 1 more infantry unit there, but these other 2 are going to move in close. So there's going to be 2, 4, they're going to be worth about 4 in the hills, but that's not an objective, nor is that. They're going to be worth 3, 6 in the hills, and I could possibly get 4, 8, 12, 18, 22. I'm going to fire my rockets on here first. Let's see whether I can make an impression. A little bit. And I'll send some air power. Okay, so let's put them 1.45, 0.15. So there's basically a little bit of an indent on these units. What I'm thinking is, I've got some of these units here, I've got some 3 armoured units. And I'm going to just drive straight in through there. Three to 1, so that was reasonable. Good die result, and that pushes them back all into that stack there. One into there. So that was good, and don't have enough by the looks of things to move into there. Okay, however, ooh, some artillery in range. Okay. I'm not going to put this artillery, these tanks in there, because I think that if I can retreat, force these to retreat, now let's just do it. I can't bother to think. Yeah, I could have probably done exactly what I was intending to do, but we've got DE on them and pushed them back. Yep, and they both went into there, so yeah, what I wanted to do was leave some of these free, but I've still got them free, so I should be able to continue an attack into there. So 7 to 1, look at that, 12, but a DR. So we pushed them out, but they can probably head straight back in. Okay. So it's now the ISIS turn. Well, might as well fire their rockets into there. A little bit of damage. Where are the objectives? Oops, didn't want to move him in there, but no worries. can't do an assault, but we can do some attrition. Nothing. Okay. I love these little sort of just. It's such a simple little thing. A lot of people don't like the just this sort of methodical moving of counters around, but I find it quite sort of therapeutic, really. So we've now got a front line along there, and I think it's quite clear they're going to push through there. But I think we're also going to push through there and there this turn. And it's very possible I could take this space and there's a distinct possibility of taking this space first and this, shuffling everything around, and then whatever we get on this, getting a DE. And eliminating them because they can't retreat. So I'm going to try that. Rockets. 0.1. What are the depression factors? 2.45, nothing, basically nothing and nothing. So this might be only a 3 to 1, maybe only a 2 to 1. Just thinking aloud. 2 to 1 DR. Well, that's fortunate. Okay, so we've done what we aim to do. I'm not going to waste the artillery on these because I think we're going to get them. It's actually quite rare to do a surround like this, so interesting. The DE, nowhere to retreat, and they're eliminated. And it's always quite interesting to see it actually work. We're also going to push into here. Six to 1 and a DR. Although we've not got any movement to move in there. Okay, so the result of that was to push the front line more like that. Which is tentatively like that. So a nice straight line across there. Let's see what ISIS can do in their attempt to hold their ground. Well, probably just do a large scale attrition attack. Oh, let's try firing the rockets first. Oh, 1.3. Unsuccessful. Okay. Maybe they should have just run away, because they're probably going to find things pretty difficult now. Rockets. 4.3, 1.9, 6.6, 1, 1. Doesn't matter. Okay. A 3 to 1 and a DR. Five to 1 and a DR. Well, we can move into there. Okay, so slowly pushing them back. Didn't think of the air power. Routed. I was going to say I'm only doing it to see whether I route anything, and there it happened. Which one went? I wonder. 5.3, 1.15, 7.6. There were two of them that could have gone. Okay. This is now the ISIS turn. Well, what they're going to do, they're going to fall back. And that's it, I think. And it's a good example of how the insurgent units work, because regular units would have probably been eliminated. The only real way to get them is to surround them and to really sort of prevent them from escaping, because otherwise they just, essentially what they're doing, they're not really fighting, they're just doing a fighting retreat, which is something that regular units are not, that regular units, I wouldn't say they're not as good as doing, but regular units are closer formed, in the sense that, you know, if it came to do something like that, they would actually rout, or leave in bad order. And I mean, in my mind's eye, I've got an understanding of how it works, but it's quite hard to sort of comprehend. But from a working perspective, you can see how, you know, the effects have been quite, you know, had to sort of consider our movements. The odds were not all that brilliant. Pretty much most of the battles went in favour of the Syrian army, you know, with 3 to 1s, 2 to 1s, you know, a few good ones. But the only time we actually got rid of any of the ISIS units was by surrounding them over here, and by reducing the morale such with the airstrikes. You know, there's still quite a lot of them, and in theory they can now rally. They've got a nice strong line there. And I won't say where the game falls to bits, but you know, we could continue that drive, but you know, the objectives have been achieved. You know, the Syrian Arab Army would actually have to sort of reorganise now, So if it was a more advanced game, you would sort of have to reconsider, how they reorganised. I'm just flipping through to see whether or not we've got any depressions anywhere. He's at 1.8, 0.6, so they've taken some minor casualties. 0.6. I mean, there's nothing significant about that. 1.8. So that in that combat, most of it through rocket fire, they have taken some. It wasn't completely free, and that's pretty much sort of what's happening. I mean, it's not. I don't think it can be said that ISIS are really sort of causing the Syrian Arab Army a lot of damage, but they're still having to work for it, even though it's a little more mechanical, a little more certain. It takes time. They still have to work for it, and they still have to actually do it, which is the perplexing thing, because you would have thought maybe ISIS would have given up by now, but they're still doing it. So this block of units there has taken some depressions as a result of that. Yeah, so that's it. I'm going to leave it at that because I want to keep this short, but a little bit of action in a much larger map. And of course, if you wanted to play it completely, you could just try and see whether you get rid of the whole pocket. But I think when you start to add it up, there's quite a lot going on. There's this little stack down there that I hadn't really sort of thought about too much. So you could probably have a go at taking out the whole pocket, and that it is designed for you to think about having a go at that. The only thing that I didn't sort of do, and possibly could have, was the ISIS have some reinforcements over here, so they could deploy those as required. To be quite honest, I don't think the Syrian Arab Army have enough units to actually take out the whole pocket as it is, but this is just reflecting of that one sort of Khanasir advance. So anyway, I'll leave it at that, and speak to you later. Cheerio.